Gordon Freeman didn't give a fuck. Gordon Freeman woke up in City 17. He was in a train station. And you know what? He had a government agent come to him and say, there's a plan. You're involved in some kind of plan. He didn't get distracted by that. Gordon Freeman came into City 17. He saw a billboard. Not a billboard, it was a screen. And on that screen was a dictator saying untruths. And Gordon Freeman decided from that moment forward, he was going to find a crowbar, and he found a crowbar, and he went through the sewers, and he found the nearest... I don't want to get in trouble with you two. Gordon Freeman didn't need to say a thing. He didn't say a word. He jumped to action. Gordon Freeman was captured within 10 minutes of arriving in this whole new society that he'd never even been to before, right? He was caught in a train station. They took him in, like, the back rooms. They were like, alright, we've got some paperwork we need to fill out or something. Broke out of that place with the help of an ex-cop. And then, within an hour, this man was on a jet ski out in the swamps, plowing through toxic waste. And then he shot down a helicopter with a rocket launcher from the jet ski. Like, surely, from their perspective, if you got the helicopter on inbound on a single guy on a jet ski, you'd have to assume that the helicopter's going to take that jet ski down. And then at one point, they shoot a rocket, I think from the helicopter, if not from a remote location. They shoot a rocket at a building. The building comes down to block off Gordon on his jet ski. And Gordon fucking ramps it.
What's better than this? Guys being dudes.
He doesn't even blink. And he's just mowing down squadrons of bad people. Within 5 minutes of him actually finding a real resistance compound, it's invaded again. And he's given, like, some weird experimental weapon. And he doesn't even have time to practice it.
Come on, Gordon, come on! Hurry!
They don't even give him time to practice this experimental weapon that he's never seen anyone use before. He's like, they're like, oh, let's play a little bit in the backyard, and then, you know, we can teach you we'll get the manual out, and then all the little advanced functions, whatever. No, they don't have time for that. This man is given this experimental gun, and you know what they say? They say, Gordon, we're being invaded. We got to leave now. Oh, by the way, could you go out through the haunted town? Could you go out through the haunted town filled with head crabs? Which, for the record, he was first introduced to the head crabs, I believe, the previous day. Because from his perspective, I think how it lines up chronologically is that the sun's going down when he first reaches that resistance camp, and that's the same day that he arrives in City 17. So the previous day, from his perspective, would have been Half-Life 1, which is the first time he ever saw a head crab. So he's getting a reunion, a mass reunion of head crabs in this haunted town with an experimental weapon he's had like 5 minutes of training with, throwing a box at a dog robot. He meets one guy, cool guy, with a shotgun, gets the shotgun from the guy, I think. He gets to the end of this haunted town, he finds a big giant hole, and he just fucking throws himself down there. There's poison head crabs there now, which is like an evolution of head crabs. That was the train. So he's now facing an evolution of a thing that he met the previous day, gets out, light at the end of the tunnel, he runs for the light at the end of the tunnel, and he's fucking ambushed. He's ambushed by snipers. Imagine how you would feel if you just spent the entire night without sleep, making your way through a haunted town. You get to the light at the end of the tunnel, and immediately there's cops. He gets to go to the beach briefly, and maybe he smells the sea breeze, smells the sea salts, and he thinks to himself, "Oh, I can enjoy a nice little beach episode. I can have a little break." No, more ambushes, and then he discovers a whole new alien species. alien, a different kind of thing that looks kind of like a crab. Now, they put Gordon in this buggy, which I believe is being driven by a different guy. Driven by a different guy. That guy dies. And then, oh, Gordon, would you mind just driving the rest of the way? The rest of the way, meaning the entire trip, because it's literally right when they get out there, immediately. There was the train again. Just immediately. Oh, Gordon, could you just make your way halfway down the fucking country coastline? He's got head crab zombies, new crab antlions, new big crabs, and more cops. Just more cops. I think they even start to bring in the cops with shotguns, and that's pretty scary. You know what's at the end of that beach? You know what's waiting for Gordon? At the end of that beach is a prison filled with prison cops. Filled with prison cops and automated turret systems. It's like a whole facility that's basically just designed to tell him to fuck off. And he just doesn't care. He just doesn't care. Another ambush. Then he's back in the city, except now the city's like way more fucked up than it was. And then he does get the help of some other people, and there's, a few hours in the day where he gets some consistent assistance from a few people. There was the lady who was the healing person, who also had a shotgun. I have a lot of feelings about shotguns. But being back in the city, Gordon, he smells it in the air. He goes, a fascist dictator waiting for him at the end of the city. And he just goes. And when there's an ambush, he just goes down an alleyway. He doesn't know this fucking city. He doesn't know this city layout. He doesn't know how this city is planned out. He's never even been here before, really. He was there for like 5 minutes at a train station. I think maybe we briefly see the train station again. But he just figures it out. I think he goes in the sewers again. At this point, he's desensitized to whatever form of crab he encounters. He faces off against the racial hierarchies of this totalitarian, despotic, colonizing empire. There's stalkers. I didn't even mention the fucking stalkers. That's another kind of crab. It's like a crab spider. It's like a crab spider, but it's like 100 stories tall. And he just shoots that down like it's nothing, which nobody else can do, even when they do have rocket launchers. Which, incidentally, they were probably trained to use the rocket launchers, and I don't think Gordon really was. There was the guy who I think was English. I think it was that, or he was pretending to be English. Don't remember his name though. I think if there was a Half-Life 2 movie, he would be like a good Simon Pegg. I would say a good Simon Pegg role for him, and then for Gordon himself, I would say, who's a good physical actor? See, because I think, because I know canonically that Gordon's supposed to be like 27, 28, I think, or something like that. I would say that Gordon is probably like early 30s kind of guy. I would say Gordon is probably. You know what? I don't have a suggestion for Gordon Freeman. Let me know in the comments. Not to get too tangential, because then there's more fucking snipers, and then there's like mines that look a little bit like crabs if you kind of squint. I think like a building falls on him at some point, or he falls in some kind of rubble situation. And I know he's got the HEV suit, but I mean, it must have not been that great if they only made one of them. Sneaks his way into the facility. You know how he sneaks his way into the facility? From the very bottom, he goes, "Oh look, a metal casket that seemingly only exists so that you can be just sort of pulled through this hellish monolith and be vaporized at some point." I think there's a puzzle involving you get vaporized if you makes his way all the way to the top of it. He even gets caught at one point, but he doesn't care. With the help of Alex Vance, I think we should. She's got a lot of good motivations, good emotions. She's very good at parkour. She's a parkour freak. I would say we should respect parkour freaks like Alex Vance. Alex Vance, the parkour maniac. They make their way to the top of that building. the tippity top. And where was he? Where was he 2 days prior? Well, he was at the train station, just like any one of us could be. Could be any one of us at the train station, coming out, looking out, saying, oh look, there's some second-class citizens over there. Here's a bunch of people who don't have control of what they're doing on a day-to-day basis. Wow. What makes Gordon Freeman special is not that there's only one Gordon Freeman, it's that we're all Gordon Freeman, in a way. Gordon Freeman has inspired me today, not just to record this, but you know what else? To vote. Join the DSA, folks.
Are you concerned about your personal security?
Something that might not be immediately obvious about me is that my brain is all over the place at all times, which does mean that I'm bad at remembering passwords and changing passwords and remembering that I'd been forced to change my password. But what we're talking about today is NordPass. Everything you need for all the security, online security. It's the modern internet. You've got to generate a bunch of secure passwords. How are you going to generate them? NordPass. How are you going to store those new passwords? NordPass. The same account you can use on 6 different devices. Data breach scanner. Additional security. Password health. Stay up to date on your passwords and learn in real time. It is a zero-knowledge password manager. You can be me, and you can still benefit from this service. NordPass is a top-of-the-range service, and I don't think I need to really say any more about it. You can use the promo code listed down below. That should be nordpass.com/JackSane. Use that promo code down below, and listen, trust me, you won't forget it. You won't regret it. You won't. Folks, it's happened. Buzz Lightyear's been castrated. They castrated Buzz Lightyear. Nobody cares. Nobody gives a fuck. No one cares that Buzz Lightyear's been castrated. And why has Buzz Lightyear been castrated? Marxism. And you know why they did it? Folks, I'm going to be honest. It's been a long time since I understood what was happening.
M&Ms will not be satisfied until every last cartoon character is deeply unappealing and totally androgynous. Until the moment you wouldn't want to have a drink with any one of them.
Up yours, woke moralists.
I'm going to ramble for a bit. It's going somewhere.
I would do anything to protect my 5 grandchildren, including, as a last resort, shooting them.
Message to Republicans who are prepared to block the January 6th commission.
Eat some chocolate chip.
This is a simple meme that you would find on the internet, but this meme is very real.
Well, why can't we treat human life in the same way that we would treat alien life that we discovered on an alien planet?
The decision of one man to launch a wholly unjustified and brutal invasion of of Ukraine. Iraq, anyway.
NordPass.com/JackSane. NordPass.com/JackSane. NordPass.com/JackSane.